All right, you ready?
I'm always ready.
Always ready. Hey friends, what's up? Kaz and Dark here. Welcome to our fan server in the drop party area. So we just wanted to make a quick announcement video, remind you guys that on Tuesday, September 2nd at 7 to 9 p.m. CST, or what is it in Australia, Dark?
Wednesday 3rd, 10 to 12 a.m.
There we go. Or what's your time zone?
Australian Eastern Standard Time, I think.
East Australia, okay. In Australia land.
Australia land? Yes.
And we'll be doing
land.
like a live stream event, so be sure to check and subscribe to my live stream channel in the gibbles below, as well as check out all the prizes that we'll be giving away. We'll have some really fun custom unlocks available for you, and that Dark's been working on. He's got some really fun stuff for you guys, and the drop party will be going down about 8 o'clock, and it'll be based largely upon the amount of donations we've brought in August. So that'll be your last chance to donate toward that. There's a link.
No, it's good. There'll be a link in something. I'll link this.
Portal will be active at 7, and then you guys can come in here and check it out. But the drop party won't be happening until like 8.
So the more you donate, the more we'll put in the chests, the more goodies you'll get, and the more fun you'll have.
Oh yes, like at least 7 times more fun. Like 7 more fun.
7 more fun.
7.5. Anyway, so this is Kaz and Dark. This is Kaz and Dark. Looking forward to hanging out with you guys next Tuesday or Wednesday if you're in Australia lands. So anyway, this is Kaz and Dark from McFriends, reminding you guys all enjoy the game. God bless.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, I just wanted to add a few quick clarifications to do with the contest at the end of this video. Mainly to do with what you should and should not do, and to clarify a few things. To start off, we're going to go to contest using this command. This command brings up, if you just use contest, it'll bring up a whole bunch of stuff. But what I want to mostly focus on is contest submit and contest submissions. So if you used, I'm just not going to reply, sorry. If you use contest submit, what it will do is it'll place your plot in a list, basically saying these are the people that have a submission for the contest, and like they just want, it's just a list so that we can see. So for example, if I go contest submissions now, you can see there's a whole bunch of people here, like 6 of them. There's quite a few more people that haven't put the submission in, which is why I want to get people to put it here so that we can check, we can have a look and say, oh well. So if you're making a submission, use contest submit. Even if you're not finished, you can use it midway if you know you're going to finish it at some point, because then we can come along, see it, and go, oh look, this we can say to you, oh, we would rather you do this instead of that, or if you do this, you've got a better chance, it looks better and stuff like that. Whatever. He might actually be coming up. You need to spell my name right. So you use that, it'll put your name on a list. But please don't use contest submit if you haven't done anything. For example, if I go PHGC Puppy Love, whose name is up here, the 4th name along, and press enter, GC Puppy Love does not have a plot, which means that like we can't see any of that. Which, just please don't do that if you haven't got a plot and or you haven't got any sort of submission. Another thing I want to go, warp steampunk, you guys can do this too. I am in creative, let me clear my inventory. I'll show you a thing or two, but when we say use a style, what we mean is go to warp steampunk, see what this looks like. This is sort of the style we're going for. We're not saying you have to do exactly this, you don't have to copy it block for block, but we'd like that sort of style, where we've got for example, like a typical house over here. We've got the nice spruce wood with the wool, white wool in between. I'll answer them afterwards. And we've got the black wool on top, and all sorts of that stuff. So it just looks like this, and you can see we've got like little windows, and what else? like bigger windows, and how the roof just comes out of different places. That's sort of what we're looking for. We're not looking for exactly that, but something along the lines of it. Yeah, try to not just build random stuff. For example, I think it's PH sheep are great. Yeah, so I think this guy, yeah, sheep crate shop. I don't know if these are his submissions or whatnot, but if you have a look, they aren't, like, firstly, they aren't using the blueprint, which you need to use. Remember, it's just, the blueprint outlines basically the inside of the shop. You can change the outside of the building to look however you want. But if you have a look, we're not going to be using this because we don't have any really form of blue in our build. We're not using that sort of style. I don't know if this is just him building it. If that's building it, it's fine. He can use it whenever he wants. But just if he's doing it for the contest, because he's got it as a submission, that's not exactly what I want you to do. I'll show you a good example. So this is probably our #1 contender right now. His name is Lowell's BMX. As you can see, it's similar to the style. It's not exactly the same. Got a few little different pieces there. It's still, like, even though we said we didn't really particularly want like the steampunk stuff. So if you just built this building without the steampunk stuff, we'd still use it. It'd be fine. You can add the steampunk stuff if you want. He's done it, and it looks pretty good. It's probably one of the top contenders. There's quite a few other people who have done some big ones, and they look good. And I'll show you another one. This guy, he's very closely sticking to this style provided there, so it's good. Now if I go to PHCN, sorry, 360. Now this guy, he's got another good one as well. He's doing a much harder one, much bigger one. He hasn't finished yet. He's still got top floor, a few things to change. And while it's still using some of the same blocks, it's got a slightly different style, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly valid, and it looks great. So you can, whilst we say we would rather you to use the style. So if he doesn't have to change too much. He could probably just remove a few of these little these structural pieces and add some white wool, for example, at places like this. That'd be fine. He'd be much closer to the style and stuff, but he is using a slightly different style with the same sort of blocks, and it works. Looks pretty good, and this is one of the harder builds, and he's doing pretty well at it actually. Looks like he's just really got the first floor and this little part over here to do. First floor, like the third floor, I think, to do. But it feels really nice, and it sort of looks like a shop. I think, yeah, so those are basic examples if you want to go and see them, see how it's all working out. Some other things I wanted to point out is to do with making a shop look like a shop. So if you look here, you'll notice that pretty much everywhere, every single wall that faces outwards is a window. Now, if you go into an actual shop, or if you go, like, for example, I don't know, any sort of shopping center or anything, they don't have, like, see, look here. If I go into the shop here, the only wall is this. Everything else has glass panes in it. Especially even to go in this other shop. And I've told him this. That's not how shops work. I may get a call all of a sudden because Gold Roger's gonna call me. But that's not how shops work. In a real life scenario, it's a slab. In a real life scenario, they'd probably have a window out the front here to display stuff. To basically say, here is, like, in a real shop, you'd have the door, and then right here, you'd have probably, like, a display window, where you'd have, if it was, like, closed, you'd have mannequins and stuff. You wouldn't have a window on each side of this. So take that into consideration. You can have windows, but just don't, for example, like, and in pretty much all buildings, if you have a wall that goes from one building to another building, there's no window in that. That's another thing. See here, if you're listening to this, no windows here. That doesn't make any sense. So that's one other thing. Oh, another thing which nobody has done so far, so I'll just point out here. So one of the things on the shop, if we go back to shops, no, maybe it's shop. If you have a look here, we need signs at the front to basically say this is occupied by this person. So if I go back here, you can see that at a few of these places, like especially at this place here, there's no place for you to put a sign. You can put a sign here, but it doesn't feel like a wall or anything. So even though this is really enclosed, and this is how I want it to be, there's no real place, especially since all of this is windows, to put a sign basically saying this is a shop, like who owns the shop, stuff like that. Also, something I might point out is he's got some of these shops here that you can walk through and get back to here. That's fine. Like, even though we said basically this was a door and there was a door, well, like basically we said that this was a whole building with the walls on the outside, he's sort of turned it into a shop that you can walk through, which I think is perfectly fine, and it looks pretty good. And I wouldn't have actually thought of that unless he did it. So that was cool. Even if I go back to PHCN's BMX, there is some space now. There's sort of like, could put it here or on here, but there's no real part that says this is a sign. Something else you could add if you want is sort of like one of those hanging billboard signs, which I'm just gonna. So imagine like a thing comes out and you've got it here, and so even though this is in the road a bit, we can put a sign up here or an item frame, basically indicating, oh, this is what we are selling and stuff. What else? I don't think there's much else. Other than that, just make sure you're doing it right. Make sure you use contest submit if you're actually submitting something, because we'll end up with a bunch that are empty. Make sure you come to the drop party thing, and I think this contest finishes 22nd of September, I think, even though it might finish a little bit later than that, depending on how some people are through their contests. Contest submissions. There we go. Anyway, hope you understand, enjoyed. I hope you guys can make it for the drop party. I think we're gonna release 4 new plugins, I think. Well, 2 of them are written by me using script, so they're not exactly plugins. But basically 4 new things. You may have noticed some changes. For example, if you use Skywars kits, I think there's only 1 now. I think you don't have permissions for any of the others anymore. And that's changed to do with the new updates and stuff. And you may have, if we go back to lobby, you may or may not have seen we have a portal coming, which should be soon, which should be on the drop party, hopefully, whenever that happens. And these are fully done, almost fully done, pretty much. And these will be released on the same day as well. The banker and the unlockables. So, get excited for that. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode of something. I don't know. I might actually record the drop party, depending on how long it goes, because I cannot stream because Australian internet. Anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.